At first glance, the Mercedes GLB 2026 feels like a smart, clean family SUV. The shape is practical, the badge feels premium, and everything looks expensive enough to justify the name. Then you notice the first trick. The GLB gives you style up front. A no-cost AMG line light package adds 19-inch AMG wheels and a body-colored roof spoiler, so the car instantly looks sharper without raising the price. But the moment you try to make it feel like a real Mercedes, the story flips. Comfort starts hiding behind options. Driver assist starts becoming a decision. And suddenly the GLB isn't just a car, it's a test. How much Mercedes do you want to buy beyond the badge? Because once you start adding what most people expect, the price begins to climb in a way that feels almost invisible. So here's the uncomfortable question. Is Mercedes GLB 2026 giving you value or guiding you toward spending more? Then Mercedes introduces the temptation. The Mercedes GLB 2026 Midnight Edition arrives with 20-inch AMG wheels, blacked-out trim, and adjustable dampers. It doesn't just change the look, it changes the mood. The SUV suddenly feels more confident, more serious, more special, and that's where the trap gets smarter. Once you've seen the bolder version, the standard one can feel too calm. Now the buyer isn't asking, is it worth it? He's asking, will I regret skipping it? And Mercedes knows that feeling, because the GLB is positioned close to other choices in the lineup. And the more you upgrade, the more you drift into higher territory. But here's what makes this interesting. Mercedes doesn't push performance first. It pushes emotion, appearance, presence, identity. So the question becomes, is Midnight Edition an upgrade you need, or an upgrade designed to make you feel like you need it? Under the hood, the Mercedes GLB 2026 stays straightforward. A 221 horsepower, turbocharged, 2.0-liter four-cylinder with 258 pound-feet of torque, paired with an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic. Front-wheel drive is standard, all-wheel drive is optional. On paper, it's quick enough. Older AWD testing has shown around a 6.0-second run to 60 miles per hour. And Mercedes adds a 48-volt mild hybrid system to sharpen response and improve efficiency. But here's the twist. The GLB doesn't win you with thunder, it wins you with smoothness, with calm power, with quiet effort. And that's where the buyer starts wondering, if the performance is already fine, why does Mercedes spend so much energy making you upgrade other parts? What is the GLB really trying to perfect, speed, or the feeling of premium control? Now the options become more strategic. The Mercedes GLB 2026 introduces a $1,500 Sun and Sound bundle that pairs a panoramic sunroof with an upgraded 10-speaker audio system. And the moment two wants get tied together, the buyer loses control. Because it's not just a sunroof anymore, it's sunroof plus better sound, and suddenly skipping it feels like losing two upgrades at once. This is how the GLB quietly turns preferences into pressure. Add one bundle, and the cabin feels brighter. Add the sound system, and the car feels more premium. But then another question appears. If Mercedes can bundle comfort so easily, what else is being held back behind packages? Because the GLB already looks like a Mercedes. The real game is making it feel like one, and the buyer is about to learn where that feeling truly comes from. Here's where the Mercedes GLB 2026 becomes dangerous for rivals. Space. The front seats are wide, cushy, and power adjustable, and the cabin feels bigger than its footprint suggests. In the second row, legroom is above average for this class, and the seats can slide and recline, small moves that change daily life. Then comes the headline option, a third row. For about $850, you can add 2 extra seats for occasional use, and that's the catch. Because the idea of a third row is powerful, even if you only use it a few times a year. It makes the GLB feel like the smart family choice, but it also raises a question the buyer can't ignore. If the third row is mostly for emergencies, is this space advantage real or just emotionally convincing? Technology is where the Mercedes GLB 2026 feels instantly modern. Every GLB 250 comes with a 10.3-inch infotainment display, and there's a matching digital driver display. Two big screens that make the cabin look expensive. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto keep it effortless. USB-C ports and Bluetooth cover daily life. But here's where the buyer notices the pattern again. The GLB gives you the look of premium tech, then asks you to pay for the deeper layer. Standard safety includes things like blind spot monitoring and automated emergency braking. But the moment you want the relaxing driver assistance, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, or a 360 camera, you're back to options. So the question becomes simple. Is the GLB offering real value, or just giving you a preview of what you'll pay for? On the road, the Mercedes GLB 2026 doesn't try to impress you with drama. It rides smoothly, feels composed, and turns in with confidence for an SUV this size. It's the kind of vehicle that makes long drives feel easy. And that calm is the whole personality. But the buyer starts noticing something subtle. The GLB is designed to be agreeable, not exciting. The steering is controlled. The responses are polite. Nothing feels wrong, but nothing screams, wow. And that's exactly why the options matter so much. Because when the driving is calm by nature, the upgrades become the place where you chase emotion. The look, the feel, the sound, the comfort. So the question becomes sharper. If the GLB is built to be fine in motion, are you really buying the drive or buying everything around it? And here's the truth the buyer finally sees. The Mercedes GLB 2026 isn't confusing because it's bad. It's confusing because it's clever. It gives you a premium shell, strong space, and modern screens from the start. Then it invites you to finish the car with packages. Freestyle pulls you in. Bundles connect your wants. And comfort becomes the thing you unlock step by step. But what happens when you stop clicking? The base GLB can still be smooth, practical, and genuinely Mercedes in quality. Yet the full Mercedes feeling is what costs. So the final answer is this. Mercedes GLB 2026 sells you the badge and the foundation, then sells you the experience. The only question left is yours. Will you buy the foundation, or will you keep upgrading until it becomes a different car entirely?